Hi there! Well, in today's video I am going to be sharing with you how I make my husband's favorite meat sauce recipe. This is a video that's been highly requested on this channel, and even more so recently because I mentioned this is my husband's absolute favorite meal that I make at home. This is by no means a classic bolognese recipe. This is not an authentic Italian version of a meat sauce. It's just a way that I have found to take ordinary jarred spaghetti sauce from the grocery store and make it taste really delicious. The best part about this recipe is that it makes a very large quantity at one time, so you not only have enough for your current meal, but also plenty to put in your freezer for meals down the road. So let's go ahead and go into my kitchen and I will show you how it's made. For the ingredients, you're going to need about 2.5 to 3 pounds of ground beef. I like to use a combination of half ground chuck and half ground sirloin. Next, you need 1 large jar of spaghetti sauce. I like to use the ragu tomato, garlic, and onion. You also need 1 regular sized jar of the same sauce. This is also tomato, garlic, and onion. I also like to have 1 small can. This is an 8-ounce size of plain tomato sauce, just in case my sauce ends up being a little bit too thick at the end. I won't necessarily use that. You also need a few tablespoons of olive oil, 1/4 cup of red wine. This is Blackstone Cabernet, but whatever you like. You also need 1 white onion finely chopped. You need about 4 cloves of garlic minced. It really depends on their size, so about 3 to 4 cloves. And then finally, about 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I just use the Italian seasoning blend from my grocery store. This has a little bit of oregano, thyme, and other seasonings in there as well. To make the sauce, I like to use my large 6 3/4 quart Le Creuset Dutch oven. This is a really good size, especially for all of the meat that we're going to be browning. So the next thing that you need to do is add your olive oil, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, to the Dutch oven, and then heat that over medium-high. Once the oil is heated, we're going to go ahead and add in the chopped onion and let that saute. This usually takes about 4 minutes. I don't let them cook completely down, not completely translucent before I add in the ground beef, but I do like them to soften up most of the way. Now that the onions have cooked down and somewhat softened, it's time to add in the ground beef. This is the half ground chuck, half ground sirloin combination. This is quite a bit of meat, so I do like to try to make sure that I evenly distribute this throughout the pan. And I also like to just sort of take my spatula and break it up a little bit to make sure I have it in nice small chunks. I've added all the meat and tried to break it up just a little bit. It's time to add in our Italian seasoning. So this is the tablespoon of Italian seasoning. I just sprinkle that over the meat and then continue to brown it. You can also add a little bit more or a little bit less to taste if you need to. For now, we just need to continue to brown the meat and make sure that it's very thoroughly cooked. So through the process, I just continue to kind of break those pieces apart with my spatula, turn it over, let it set for a little bit so the bottom can get browned, turn it over a little bit, and just sort of continue that process until everything is fully cooked. So now all of my meat is browned and cooked through, and I have drained off most of the fat. I've left about a tablespoon or 2. I couldn't show that on camera because this is such a heavy pot. But now it is time to add in our spaghetti sauce. So we're going to go ahead and add in our large jar of spaghetti sauce, and then our small jar as well. And then finally our 1/4 cup of red wine. Now we need to just gently stir all of these ingredients together and then let the sauce simmer. I like to let this simmer on my stovetop for at least another 2 to 3 hours over a low heat. If you prefer, you can also transfer this to a crock pot and let it simmer there all day on low as well. And this makes about 10 cups once it is fully cooked down. So all there is left to do is to make your favorite pasta, put this over the top, and enjoy. So that is it. That is how I make my husband's favorite meat sauce. I hope that you found this video helpful. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.